Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Bambi Vlogs. I am joining you today from the floor of my apartment. I thought I would do another little ASMR video, and I thought it'd be really fun to show my books, a little book collection vlog today for you. Before we get into the video, a little update for absolutely no one. I've had only one like, but one like was very monumental on my first video. So thank you to whoever liked that. But I wanted to do a quick update on my knitting. If you happened to watch my last video, you would know that I am knitting a sweater. I'm calling it the perfect sweater. It's just a baggy, kind of oversized fit based on a couple of sweaters I own. But this is the progress we have made this week. It's really curled right now, but I've got the ribbing done and I am up to this length. It is a flat panel knit sweater, so I am knitting the back panel right now, and I'm very pleased with how it's turning out. It's very laborious. It is a fingering weight wool yarn, but it's what I have, and it is what I think is going to make my perfect sweater perfect. Today is a Saturday in February in Manhattan. I went for a little walk today in the morning. I walked to Washington Square Park. It was really beautiful and covered in snow. It was nice to get out today. I also made some dinner earlier. I did a little ground turkey with onions, a little Mediterranean spice blend, but it was very delicious. And I had a little glass of red wine with it. So I'm feeling very pleasantly full tonight, very relaxed. And I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to make a YouTube video, a little ASMR moment to give some of the relaxation that I'm feeling to you, maybe. Tomorrow is my mother's birthday. She passed about a year ago, but I'm gonna honor her tomorrow. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but I plan on doing something special for her tomorrow, so God rest her soul. But we can go ahead and get into the video itself, the ASMR. One of my favorite kind of genre of ASMR videos is people showing off their collections, their things, whatever it may be, whatever they're into. It can be things I know absolutely nothing about. It can be a DVD collection, a record collection. I do have records. I think that'd be a fun YouTube video too. But I have these massive piles of books that I've accumulated, I'd say over the last 5-6 years. Throughout all my moves from New York to LA, back home to San Jose, to Chicago, I've held on to these books. They've stayed with me in all my traveling. And I thought I would like to show them off today and walk you through some of the books I own. They are either books I've held on to or potentially books I have not read yet. Let's start. We can start with the newest book that I've gotten. This is the Ultimate Sweater book. This is a knitting book, and this is the book that I'm using to knit the perfect sweater. I talked a little bit through the process in my last video. Next, we have perhaps a bit of a controversial book. American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. It's one of my favorite books. I think it's a really, really funny book. I think I would say that most people probably get the premise of American Psycho and that it is a parody of the narrator, Patrick Bateman. The movie too was directed by a female, and I thought the movie was brilliant, but I think American Psycho is just a really interesting look into this sort of businessman with the expectations of men in our society and the kind of psychotic nature that it takes to be a successful man. So I love American Psycho. Great book. Breeze through these next couple books. It is a bit of my manga collection. I have a deep admiration for Japanese culture. Love to visit Tokyo one day. It's definitely my top three places I want to visit: Tokyo, London, and Paris. They kind of switch between which I like to visit more, but Tokyo, Japan, definitely on that list. And with that, I do really love Japanese culture. I have Sailor Moon. This is book one. I have read this quite some time ago. I get the premise of Sailor Moon. I've been watching it since I was a child, but I don't remember the contents of book one. Perhaps I should read it again. I have books 1 and 2 of Nana. I think most people my age online and perhaps terminally ill know a lot about Nana. The fashion, especially, is very influential. The love that the author has for Vivienne Westwood definitely has inspired my own love for Vivienne Westwood. This bag right behind me is actually a Vivienne Westwood bag. I do love me some Vivienne Westwood. And I do love that the Nana series takes a lot of inspiration from her fashion. I also have this book. This is Princess AI. It was a book, I want to say, co-authored by Courtney Love. Courtney Love is truly one of the people that I admire the most in this world. Her philosophy, her unafraid nature to say the most outlandish but very insightful stuff. I think she's beautiful and fashionable and glamorous, and her music, Live Through This is one of my favorite albums ever. Courtney Love is a very important woman to me. So I have her manga. Next, I have The Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir. It is a collection of short stories that I have not read yet, so it's on my TBR. Happy Hour by Marlo Granados. I have read this. I actually quite like this book, and that's why I've held on to it. It is just kind of a book about two girls where nothing really happens other than vibes. I believe they live in Manhattan. I read it quite some time ago. With the verve and bite of Otessa Moshfegh, great author, and the barbed charm of Nancy Mitford, Marlo Granados' stunning debut brilliantly captures a summer of striving in New York City. That is the blurb for this book. If you want to read about two friends just kind of going about the perilous life in New York City, I would highly recommend. This is Emily Ratajkowski's My Body, My Body, My Body. Oh, I did not realize I had this in there. It was a Tank Air card from one of my purchases. I've bought a lot of clothes from Tank Air, but My Body is a really great book. I think Emily Ratajkowski has a very fascinating mind. And I really liked reading her insight on what it's like being a beautiful woman, honestly. I have Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. Actually, this is one of the Otessa Moshfegh books that I have not read. I believe I got this secondhand from Thrift Books online. Really great website. You can get books for like $3 to $4. You can bulk up. That's how I got actually a lot of these books. And there are certain books that I like to have brand new, a nice hardcover, a signed edition if you can find it. But there is a charm and a loveliness of having a used book. You can sometimes see little notes scribbled from the person before. For example, on this page of Eileen, somebody wrote, I believe it says 992. Why they did that, who knows? But I do like a used book. Getting a little history on who owned it before me. The next book is Star by Pamela Anderson. This was also on Thrift Books. I've not read it, but I love Pamela Anderson, and to hear that she wrote like a cheesy, salacious, as the New York Post describes it, a sexy, sizzling beach read, I thought it would just be a lovely book to own. Isn't that cover so cute? I have The White Album by Joan Didion. I've only read one Joan Didion book, but the chokehold that woman has on me, just for being this effortlessly chic woman with such a brilliant mind. I have read one of her books. The next book I want to read by Joan Didion is Play It As It Lays, which you'll see later, but I definitely need to tap into her more. She is a California native like myself, and I feel a kindred spirit with her. I also have Just Kids by Patti Smith. She was bought in brand new, but she has been through the ringer. I think it got wet in one of my many moves. There is a Post-it tab that I believe I put there, because I did start reading this at one point and I did not finish it. It was very enthralling. I think I just got caught up with life. I tabbed it at the Hotel Chelsea chapter, probably because at one point in my life I lived right across the street from Hotel Chelsea my first year in New York City, and it's a very beautiful building with beautiful rich history, and I loved that I lived right across the street from it. I watched a documentary once about the Hotel Chelsea. It was set in like today, and it was talking to some of the residents who still live there. Of course, they're all being forced out and trying to reclaim some of those apartments and hike up the rent and gentrify that building, so to speak, which was very sad to see, especially because they had lived there for years back when rent was probably $200 a month, and now they want to take back those apartments and probably charge people $3,000 a month for shoe boxes. It's really sad to see. But I watched the documentary. I got to see some of the beautiful backstories of the people who have lived at the Hotel Chelsea. And I cherish the fact that I spent a year of my life very near it. This next book is A Little Life. Not read it. But it looks like I bought this book at 3 Lives and Company in New York on West 10th Street. I actually don't remember visiting this bookstore. Perhaps I should go back and refresh my memory. A Little Life, I've heard very mixed opinions on. I feel like it's just one of those books that you have to read down with all the chatter around it. It seems very melodramatic and a bit dramatic. But who knows? I have it here because I plan on reading it eventually and giving my own opinion. The next 2 books are my coffee table books, despite the fact that I don't have a coffee table. I have a tiny studio apartment. I don't know if I can fit a coffee table in it. But one day, these next books will make the coffee table. This is Fairy Tales, Petra Collins, Alexa Demi. I got this for my birthday one year. And I have always loved Petra Collins and her visual identity. It's very distinct. And I think Alexa Demi is absolutely beautiful. And if you look through some of the imagery in this book, it's very beautiful, very me. So one day, Fairy Tales will make the coffee table. And then I got on a trip to the MoMA. This is a prized possession of mine. I actually had known about this item through my admiration and fanness. My dedication to this artist, Bjork. I've been a big fan for quite some time, and I knew she had a collection of books that I still have not opened. Talking through her career and her discography. This is the Bjork mid-career retrospective with new commission piece for the MoMA. And it goes through her first 7 albums. But I had went to the MoMA not realizing that they actually still sold this book. I don't know what you would call it, if it's a book or a collection, because I've never opened it. But this is my little memento for my love of Bjork. I should probably go through things a little quickly, because I still have quite a few books. I have another knitting book. This is Knitting from the Top by Barbara G. Walker. This particular book, I think, is a bit more of a guide on doing your own knitting without quite following the pattern. So this is basically more fundamentals on how to knit without strict pattern following. Oh Caledonia by Elspeth Barker. A sparky, funny work of genius and one of the best, least known novels of the 20th century. I believe this is more of a gothic kind of novel. Oh, how interesting. Introduction by Maggie O'Farrell, author of Hamnet. Hamnet has been adapted into a movie recently, and I have been highly recommended I go see it. So if if you have enjoyed him, it seems like that author also enjoys of Caledonia. This is So Sad Today by Melissa Broder. I believe I've read like a few chapters. It's just essays by an author that I definitely need to check out. But how cute is this little bookmark that I left in it? I believe I got this from, actually I have no idea where I got it from. But this is Marilyn Monroe, a very important woman to me. This is actually a journal of mine. It is empty, but it was a repurposed vintage book. The book was originally Bruno's Dream by Iris Murdoch, and there is a thrift store or a vintage store, I don't quite remember, but in Williamsburg they had these journals, and I got one. I thought it was really cute. This is Bitch by Elizabeth Wurtzel, in praise of difficult women, because I love a difficult woman, a misunderstood woman, and I love a bitch. She's also the author of Prozac Nation. She has passed. I don't fully know why, but she seems to be an author who would probably speak to me. And I definitely want to read Bitch in praise of all my difficult women out there. This is a cookbook that I also got on, I think I got this actually on eBay. This is The French Women Don't Get Fat Cookbook. I thought it was just funny and cheeky to have as a French woman myself. Always have a couple cookbooks in your repertoire. Didion and Babbitt. Again, I love where Jim Didion shines through and my fascination with her. But we also have Eve Babbitt, who is often compared and linked to Jim Didion in the way that they wrote and their lifestyles. And this author compared the two. I've heard not so great things about this book, but I still decided to pick it up and judge for myself. I've not read it yet. This is Grotesque by Natsuo Carino. I got this by Kinokuniya Books in Bryant Park. It is a bookstore that also has manga and anime and figurines and stationery and craft. It's a really, really, really cute store. I would definitely check it out if you ever happen to be in Bryant Park. But this author, Natsuo Carino, is a Japanese author who specializes in thrillers and mysteries and kind of more bleak subject matter. She has a couple of books. I want to say I have another one by her. Very, very sad story. I was reading her book Out, I believe it's called, and I had my book with me. I had went to St. Louis for spring break in 2021. On my way back, I landed in LaGuardia and I drove back into Manhattan in an Uber, and for whatever reason my copy of Out was left in that Uber, and I've not seen it since, and I never got to finish the book, but I remember it being very, very good. So I would recommend Natsuo Carino based on my limited reading of hers. This is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. I believe, started or tried to start this book multiple times. I bought this when I still lived in California. It is fiendishly entertaining. Some are shocking and darkly funny. Novel reads like a feminist horror version of American Psycho. I do not like the writing style of this book. It just is a little hard to get into. So I've never ever gone through with finishing this book or reading it past the first chapter. But I've held on to it. It's a beautiful cover. We have another Pamela Anderson book. This is Love, Pamela. This was a $30 book. It's in beautiful condition. Got this at Goodwill for $2. Sometimes the thrift gods just smile upon you. I got a great book that I've been wanting to read. Another cheeky book. There's a theme. Skinny bitch in the kitchen. Kick-ass recipes for hungry girls who want to stop cooking crap and start looking hot. This is Bunny by Mona Awad. I have read this. I thought it was such a great book. I think Mona Awad is often compared to Otessa Moshfegh in her style of books. Kind of out there, sad, unlikable female narratives. But I really like Mona Awad, and Bunny was a great book. And I did also read All's Well by Mona Awad. I preferred this one. I think this is a brilliant, beautiful book. I'm gonna read you the back of this one to give you an idea of what this is, because I feel like this one is a little more slept on than Bunny. Miranda Fitch's life is a waking nightmare. The accident that ended her burgeoning acting career left her with excruciating chronic back pain, a failed marriage, and a deepening dependence on painkillers. Determined to put on Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well, she faces a mutant cast hell-bent on staging Macbeth instead. That's when she meets three strange benefactors who have an eerie knowledge of Miranda's past and a tantalizing promise for her future. One where the show goes on, her rebellious students gets what's coming to them, and the invisible, doubted pain that's kept her from the spotlight is made known. It was such an interesting book. This is Bluebeard's Castle by Anna Biller. Anna Biller is the director of The Love Witch, which is a beautiful, beautiful movie, beautifully shot movie, one of my personal favorites. And she put out a book a couple of years ago. The story of Bluebeard and his wife is very, very interesting. I still have not gone through this and read it, but it's a beautiful cover made by a very talented woman. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I did read this. I read this when I lived in Los Angeles. And I think a lot of people have some high praises of this book, and I desperately wanted to not like it. But I, of course, loved it. I think the atmosphere and the dark academia of it all just got me. It got me. So I definitely love that book. I gave it 5 stars on my Goodreads. And the really funny thing about it is I had my mom added on Goodreads, and she read the book too. She gave it 2 stars. She did not like the book. But I went back through her Goodreads recently, and in her 2-star review, she said she could not understand why people loved it. And then she put, "But I think my son would love this book." She literally said that in her Goodreads review, and she was right. This is Earth Angel by Madeline Cash. Madeline Cash has a book coming out soon. I think she's an interesting author. I had known or had come to know that she was putting out another book because the building outside my apartment, right to my left, was plastered with posters for her upcoming book. I think that's one of the funnest, most beautiful things about New York City is we still live in a poster advertisement world out here. And man, gosh, thank you for reminding me that you are an interesting author that I should probably check out your next book. Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malors. Heard wonderful things about this book. I just have not read it yet, so I still have it, so I can read it soon. This one I don't quite know why the hell I bought. It is the first book in the Bridgerton series. I've never watched Bridgerton. I've never really been interested in historical romance, but I think at the time I wanted a little bit of escapism and fantasy, and I said, oh, I'll read the Bridgerton series. Of course, I never have. Don't know if I will. This is Death Note, the Black Edition, another one of my manga fascinations. I've always wanted to read the Death Note series, and I want to say I got this at the San Jose airport on one of my trips between San Jose and Los Angeles, and I have it. Of course, I need to read it. This is the Divine Comedy of Dante Alighieri, Inferno. It's a classic that I have not read. I think I got this at Housing Works for $2 apparently. Oh, this is one of the things I love about thrifting books. Somebody had left their grocery list in my copy of The Divine Comedy. I have no idea what that says. It's definitely not a grocery list. How cool is that? So it looks like I do remember now. I picked up a second copy of Out by Natsuo Kirino since I wanted to finish it. I just never did. But this is the second time I have now owned this book. I have another manga. I believe I got this at a Barnes & Noble. This is a very bulky, complete collection of Tomi by Junji Ito. Junji Ito is a very, very famous manga author. I believe they're called mangakas. But he specializes in the creepy and the horrifying. I'm sure you know. And Tomi, I know, she's a very beautiful manga character. But she is a bit of a seductress. She's evil. I want to say she's a man-eater. I don't know if she specializes in the destruction of men, but if she does, more power to her. It says that Tomi is a femme fatale with long black hair and a beating mark just under her left eye. She can seduce nearly any man and drive them to murder as well, even though the victim is often Tomi herself. While one lover seeks to keep her for himself, another grows terrified of the immortal succubus. But soon they realize that no matter how many times they kill her, the world will never be free of Tomi. I think it's just a nice book to own. I have the torn skirt that I got on Thrift Books. It has a review from the Rolling Stones. for a range of rabid fans from literary hipsters to renegade kids. I don't quite know what the book is about, but it's been on my to-read pile for quite some time. I'll get to her eventually. This was a book I got on eBay. This is Dominatrix, Whip Your Knitting into Shape. How cool is this binding? It's like, I can't really tell, but it's like a leather material, or latex probably. But it is another knitting book, and it has some more like alternative knitting patterns, I guess we can say. Not your traditional sweaters. They're a little bit more fun for all girls like me. Those are really cute. I have my Dark Vanessa that I got in a Goodwill. I've also seen lots of chatter about this book, but I have not read it for myself, and I'd like to have my own thoughts. This is God is Dead by Friedrich Nietzsche. God remains dead, and we have killed him. I am not one much for philosophical books and reading about philosophy, but this is one of the ones that I did want to give my attempt at expanding my mind. So I do plan on reading God is Dead eventually. I have Scum Manifesto by Valerie Solanas. I think it's by Valerie Solanas. Yes, it is. Life in this society being at best an utter bore, and no aspect of society being at all relevant to women, it remains to civic-minded, responsible, thrill-seeking females only to overthrow. Life in this society being at best an utter bore, and no aspect of society being at all relevant to women, it remains to civic-minded, responsible, thrill-seeking females only to overthrow the government, eliminate the money system, institute complete automation, and destroy the male sex. This is her manifesto. She shot Andy Warhol, if you did not know, and I want to see what was going through that lady's mind. I have The Catcher in the Rye, a classic. I have not read it. But I believe I got this from a close friend, and this will be my copy when I do read The Catcher in the Rye. This is Severance by Ling Ma. I have read Severance, yes. I thought it was a really good book, but it's also a really beautiful color of pink, so I kept it. This is How to Murder Your Life by Kat Marnell. This is one of my favorite books of all time. If you don't know who Kat Marnell is, she is a journalist, an author, a party girl, ex-party girl, we'll say. And this was her book about the crazy shit that she did through her young adulthood. As you can see, it is well loved. I will hold on to this for life. Kat Marnell is a Condé Nast dropout and former beauty editor at Lucky and XOJane.com. She wrote the Amphetamine Logic column for Vice. How to Murder Your Life is her first book, her only book so far, but she was Brat before there was Brat. I would highly, highly, highly recommend reading this if you are a lost, slightly messy party girl. This is I have no idea what the hell this is, to tell you the truth. I've had this book for some years now. It's a witchcraft book. I may need to brush up on my spells and my witchcraftery. See what that's all about. have La Bona by Tessa Moshfegh. This was a really, really great book. It was very unlike what I was used to reading from Ottessa Moshfegh, but I was absolutely enthralled by it. I think it is such an interesting book. The cover is beautiful. Look at that little sheep. My introduction to Ottessa Moshfegh was obviously My Year of Rest and Relaxation, because who doesn't like a little bit of rest and relaxation? But I thought that was such a great book. I don't own my copy anymore. I don't know what happened to it. It definitely got lost in all of these moves, but I should get another copy eventually. And this was also a really great book. I think it's my second favorite book by her. And then we have Down the Drain by Julia Fox, another biography I have gotten through. I have read this book and I love Julia Fox. I think she is another brilliant, smart, beautiful woman who has so many stories to tell. And we, as a society, should appreciate such a woman. That is just about everything. I have a few more books here that we can wrap up with. This is actually my iPad mini. It's dead, so I do need to charge it. The next two are a bit of a juxtaposition. This is my Holy Bible. It is a beautiful pink Bible. Of course, one cannot read the Old Testament if it were not baby pink. So I do treasure a copy of the Bible. But I also have the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. I think Satanism is such a brilliant way to put into words the philosophy of living life in hedonism and not subscribing to a belief system that limits your creativity and your ability to do whatever and whichever suits you. So a bit of a balance between the two. And then for some reason I had a subscription to Vogue magazine, and I have a couple of them. I have Margot Robbie, The Summer of Barbie, when Barbie was at its peak. I've held on to this because she is beautiful, and who doesn't love Barbie? And the other Vogue magazine that I've held on to is this stunning cover with Bella Hadid, because she is one of my favorite people in the world. And then I also have this Life magazine of Marilyn Monroe, remembering her beauty and her grace. These are the three magazines I've held on to. I had a Vogue subscription, but apparently I've only held on to 2 copies in my time at Vogue. So that was my book collection. My collection of books that have followed me through the years. I hope that this was a relaxing video, perhaps gave you a little bit more insight into me and my interests. If you enjoyed this video, perhaps leave a comment and engage in a conversation with me. It's been a bit lonely making these videos and not hearing from anyone. And if you want another collection video, I have some records to go through potentially. I'd love to do a knitting video and walk through some of my knitwear. or even just knit for an hour straight. Wouldn't that be fun? But thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful night, a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. And take care.